Yo, good evening, everyone at home from USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, host with the most, misunderstood lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and of course, Queens, New York native of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you're rocking and hanging out with me on the 285th episode of Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast. And we got a jam-packing show for you today with wild, crazy, fun topics to come. Live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube and alongside with StreamYard, YouTube, and Instagram live feed. On the side of myself, make sure you turn on your notifications on Instagram, and of course, be sure to do the same with Threads, and of course, do the same with YouTube. Go ahead and grab that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page for more live videos, and tap on the noti bell along with alerts, and be sure to stay tuned for more of your content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Download these episodes, very important, and listen, stream, watch these episodes, and and of course, be sure to um, tell a friend to another friend, and I'll handle the rest at the end of the recording. So, all right, so we're gonna get into some some stuff in New York mass transit news. This really caught my attention when I was watching one of the MTA committee board meetings on YouTube. And to be honest with you, this is crazy. This is very, very, very crazy. So let's get into it right here on the New York Mass Transit Files right here. Let's do this. Oops, wrong one. Okay, wait. All right, here it is. New York Mass Transit Files, man. Before I get into the relocation of the Jamaica bus terminal, um, we got to talk about the history behind this. And yes, the name of this episode is Jamaica Bus Terminal in Queens, New York. All right. And let me get to. And shouts to Sean from Sensibly Cynical Podcast. Make sure you tune into the episodes on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, follow him on Instagram as well as Threads and all that good stuff. All right, so let's get into the history of the Jamaica bus terminal, shall we? Um, okay. So the Jamaica bus terminal, built in 1939, is the operations hub for several bus routes in the borough of Queens, New York. It is currently used to store, maintain, and service approximately 196 buses operated by New York City Transit. In an effort to upgrade the facility to support The MTA's planned bus fleet growth. STV is serving as the lead designer for the design built of a new Jamaica bus terminal and parking lot. Skanska will lead the design build team. Once complete, the new facility and lot will provide the capacity needed to maintain the stored 272 buses. It will also be the city's first garage outfitted with the ability to service a fleet of entirely battery electric buses. Well, good luck with that one right there. Good luck with that one right there. Um, okay. So this really caught my attention as I was watching the MTA committee meeting on YouTube, actually, and this is from the Queens Chronicle. The 165th Street bus terminal in Jamaica is relocating to 168th Street after the lease for the transit space expires in September. Okay, there's more to this. I got some stuff to say after I get into the story. So, located at the intersection of 89th Avenue and Merritt Boulevard, the terminal is expected to move to the parking lot at 90-01 168th Street near the 103rd Precinct at 168-02 91st Avenue. Oh, Lord. The new location will have a 5-year lease with an option for 10-year renewals with the Greater Jamaica Development Corporation, which owns the lot, according to documents from an MTA board meeting held January 30th. Charlton D'Souza, president of Passengers United, a transit agency group, told the Queens Chronicle he is troubled about the proposed move. We are very concerned about it, D'Souza said. The problem we have is that there was no environmental assessment done and there were no community meetings about it. D'Souza believes the relocation will be bad all around as 91st Avenue is narrow. Strap hangers will have to walk farther to reach the EJZ subway station, and consumers will lose parking space. The Passengers United president also thinks the proximity of the bus terminal to the precinct will disrupt police work, while bus drivers will lose out on a rest spot where they can use the restroom and grab something to eat during their breaks. There is precinct traffic and there is nothing over there, D'Souza said. There is more economic development near the air train. After walking around the side streets near the proposed new terminal location, D'Souza believes there will also be congestion. State Senator State Senator Leroy Comrie told the Chronicle that the owner of the property at 165th Street did not want to negotiate with the MTA. Oh boy. They have been in flux in what they are doing, Comrie said. I understand that a new person is interested in purchasing the lot. I'm not sure the sale went through. The new space at the GJDC parking lot is temporary, according to Comrie. The MTA is hoping that once that dust settles at the 168 site, that they can work something out with new property owners. According to documents from the MTA board meeting, the property was sold to a developer a developer and is anticipated to become a mixed use development. Not sure what that means. During its negotiations with the current owner, the MTA tried to get the landlord to improve its space, but ultimately talks fell apart, Comrie said. The MTA is still working on what to do with the new lot to accommodate bus drivers, the senator added. I know there is an awareness to come up with a comfort station for the drivers, but that is something that they are going to have to work out, he said. The MTA believes the space will be adequate and safe for both employees and customers alike, according to a spokeswoman. Subsequently, we were able to secure a location very nearby, which will provide appropriate accommodations. As for the narrow roads and the precinct, Comrie said that there would have been alterations to traffic patterns and the police would have to remove their double parked cars off the road at 168th Street. Those things can be um, am- ameliorated and resolved, the senator said. I don't think that will disrupt police work. To allow the NYPD to continue its operations, the sublease agreement was proposed to park 18 to 20 vehicles within the lot, according to a summary of the board meeting. The MTA is expected to pay $1.47 million in rent the first year and more than $1.5 million in subsequent years. Okay, I got something to say about this before I go on to the next one, the next topic. This person who purchased the Jamaica bus terminal should be ashamed of himself. Having the bus operators park their buses by a police precinct is not safe at all. And I say this because that's where dangerous criminals come out of. And that's going to cause more traffic. That's going to cause more congestion. And of course, when it comes to emergencies for cops, you don't want to really you don't want to really you don't want to be in the middle of congestion traffic and stuff. And I feel and listen, man, if you go to any of the MTA committee board meetings, please tell the MTA to reconsider not relocating the bus operators to park their buses by a police precinct, because I really heard too many reports about bus operators getting punched in the face by random criminals, even lone gunmen. Is all that shit worth it? I don't think so. And like I said, if the MTA goes along with it, they should be ashamed of themselves, man. I'm sorry, but having bus drivers park their buses by a police precinct, especially 168th Street, and the streets are narrow and stuff. It, have you even thought about the 60-footer buses? Have you even thought about that? No, you didn't. And that's just plain messed up right there, man. I'm sorry, but this is just plain crazy. Ah, man. And I think all this is gonna really, really crash and burn, man. The person who purchased the Jamaica Bus Depot and of course EMTA relocating bus operators to park their buses by a police precinct should be ashamed of themselves, man. All right. That's all I gotta say, man. And plus, and if you go to another committee board meeting, with the MTA, please tell them to reconsider a different location other than a police precinct. Like, come on, man. That's just plain crazy right there. And yeah. So let's see. All right, so shaking subway shove victim. Okay, let's get into it right here. Um, and this is from the New York Post. An unhinged man shoved the strap hanger onto Brooklyn subway tracks early Wednesday, and the shaken victim later told the Post that he's lucky to be alive. Kenneth um, Kenneth Izev Biggie, age 50 of Brooklyn, recalled how his random attacker seemed to first set his sights on a woman at the end of the platform at the Rockaway Avenue station in Brownsville around 6 a.m. He wanted to harass someone at the end of the platform, a lady, but he apparently quickly gave up on that. Izev Biggie, a security guard with two daughters, said by phone. He started yelling. I don't know what he was yelling. He was coming towards me. I never wanted to look at his face because I knew that he was not stable. So I avoided looking at him. I was just using my phone. I didn't want to attract attention, said the writer, adding he was on his way to visit a cousin in Jackson Heights, Queens at the time. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. When he was about to pass me, he just stood, the dad said, because I was sitting and he was standing. I didn't want him to attack me, so I stood up. When I stood up, he pushed me. I was trying to say, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? He started talking, but I don't know what he was saying. He was angry. Before I knew it, he pushed me again. I lost balance and fell on the tracks, said Izab Biggie, who moved to the city from Dallas, Texas in 2020. He pushed me. He didn't punch me. I was not expecting it. When I knew I was going to fall, I had to try to land properly so I didn't hit my head or break my arm. He threw my bag on the tracks. Then he jumped on the tracks. I thought he was going to attack me again, but when I stood up, he climbed back on the platform. He just walked away. Isaac Biggie said he wasn't worried about getting hit by a train because he knew from the schedule that the next subway wasn't due for about 7 more minutes. But it was horrible, he said, of the experience. I count myself lucky. I wasn't injured. The shovel has yet to be caught. Isaac Biggie said cops drove him around the area for about 30 minutes looking for his attacker, but he wasn't confident enough to ID anyone. Whew. Okay, so let's get to the next one. All right. Okay. MTA debuts new text. The MTA has launched a new text and email alert system bringing real time service advisories right to the phones of subway, bus, and commuter rail customers. The new system, called MTA Service Alerts, allows riders personalized control over the notifications they get. Users can choose which lines they get alerts for, the specific times they want to receive them, and whether to get alerts through email, text, or both. New Yorkers are always on the move, and with MTA service alerts, MTA customers will be able to travel confidently with the most current information that may impact their specific journeys, says Shanifa Riera, the MTA's acting chief customer officer. This new approach to service alerts will ensure that we are communicating directly to customers about relevant service impacts consistently and simply across channels, and will provide customers enhanced opportunities to receive timely updates on planned work. The new system replaces an earlier legacy one called My MTA Alerts, which launched in 2007 and will still provide updates to users' phones on elevators, escalators, and bridge and tunnel conditions. There's also the My MTA app for subway and bus alerts, and the Train Time app for Metro North and Long Island Railroad notifications. Um, the move comes after a very public spat between the MTA and Twitter over the authorities' real-time service alerts on the social media platform. The MTA sees to its automated subway, bus, and commute rail alerts on Twitter, known as X, in April after the company acquired by Elon Musk for $44 billion started demanding fees from institutional players for accessing the site's application programming interface. Okay, I don't know why Elon Musk changed the name of the social media app from Twitter to X. That shit is so dumb, man. Anyway, Twitter had attempted to make accounts like the MTA pay as much as $50,000 per month for the privilege of automating posts, one of many highly controversial moves Musk has made since purchasing the platform. The NTA refused, citing its other service notification platforms, and Twitter caved within a few days. Hmm. Oh, the MTA is still posting real time service alerts on Twitter, even as the platform finds itself in flux following a move to limit the number of tweet users can view each day. Twitter's traffic is now reportedly plummeting as many users flock to the new competitor Threads, which was launched by Meta, Facebook's apparent company. The MTA opened new accounts on Threads this week, the Daily News reported. Okay, so, all right. Let's see. Okay, e-bike fires. Okay, this is from the Gothamist website. An e-bike shop at 91 Canal Street in Chinatown was vacated on Tuesday after more than 100 lithium ion batteries were found improperly charged and stored, according to a fire department investigation. After a fire erupted at another Chinatown e-bike shop last week, killing four people at 80 Madison Street. The fire department enlisted field units to more than 200 e-bike shops across the city. The shop at 91 Canal Street was one of them. What is clear is that the location was essentially a ticking time bomb. Oof. All right. Where is I? Fire Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh said at a press conference in Brooklyn on Thursday, "It's a non-fireproof building situated in a desired location with hundreds of batteries that were cause for concern." Kavanaugh said that firefighters found between 500 and 1,000 improperly stored batteries at 80th um, Madison Street following an ongoing investigation. Um, yes. After a fire erupted another Chinatown e-bike shop last week, killing four people. Yeah, I already read that one. Ongoing investigation at that store. Officials at the FDNY announced after last week's deadly fire that New Yorkers would be able to call 311 to report tips about unsafe storage of lithium ion batteries. Since then, there have been 38 inspections of shops as a result of those calls, the department said. "We will find you and we will find you and we will shut you down," Kavanaugh said. According to the FDNY, there have been 113 fires so far this year as a result of lithium ion batteries, which have killed 13 people and injured 71. Lithium ion batteries have posed safety concerns, especially among delivery drivers who have been working to meet increased demand from food delivery services. Following the deadly Chinatown fire, the city announced it would install 173 safe outdoor charging and storage stations for lithium ion batteries early next year, with the goal of reducing the number of deadly fires. Okay, so the FDNY has publicly available safety tips for lithium ion battery storage. Charge batteries away from exits and hallways. Don't stack batteries on top of each other. Only use the original charging equipment provided by the manufacturer of your battery. If a battery is damaged, don't charge it. Because of their lightweight design, high density of energy, and rechargeability, lithium ion batteries, which can also be found in everything from your phone, computer, and electric car have become increasingly popular, according to the U.S. Department of Energy. But when a battery is damaged, the nature of its design can cause a series of potentially deadly issues. The fire department said that lithium ion batteries can enter an uncomfortable self heating state that creates a release of gas which causes fire. These types of fires are even more damaging because they can quickly spread to other batteries and reignite after a fire has already been extinguished. Just days after the deadly blaze at 80 Madison Street, another fire at the same location was reignited. Fires caused by lithium ion batteries are also made even more dangerous by the fact that regular fire extinguishers don't work on them. Hmm, damn. Yeah, okay, so let's go to wait, I forgot what oh right. Let me see, let me see. So let me see. Um okay, Jamie Foxx clears up rumors in the air, according to Revolt TV. Um, when Jamie Foxx speaks, his fans listen. In a much anticipated update, the Hollywood juggernaut finally clued the public on his months long recovery from a health scare he experienced in April. But that's not all the actor had to say in his self recorded video shared on Instagram on Friday, July 21st. While Jamie may have taken his time returning to social media with new posts, he was well aware of mild the wild narratives and conspiracies that had captivated his supporters. In the new video speaking directly to his followers, he addressed how secrecy about his private health struggle made it easy for speculation to run rampant. And he said, a quote, now, you know, by being quiet, sometimes things get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working just fine. He said, as he proved he could move each eye independently of the other. He then debunked a claim that he was possibly wheelchair bound. They said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed, he said, as he proved that he had mobility in both his arms. The well respected talent was recently spotted around Chicago playing golf and getting in and out of a vehicle on his own, proving that his legs are working just fine. Jamie, age 55, has been in the Midwest undergoing specialized rehabilitation at a facility for at least 2 months. Not to downplay his ailment and recovery, he added, I went to hell and back, and my road to recovery has some potholes as well. But I'm coming back and I'm able to work. In what may be the most lighthearted and comical moment of the minute long video, the Just Like Me crooner spoke directly to claims that a doppelganger of sorts had taken his place. Some people are talking about I'm cloned. Well, check this out, he said as he jokingly mentioned as though he was going to rip a mask off his face. Just kidding, not cloned, man. but I'm here on earth because of some great people. I'm here on earth because of God, man. They well played. The well played joke came the same day that his latest project, Netflix's They Clone Tyrone, was released. In the film, John Boyega plays Tyrone, and Jamie is a high top fade wearing pimp. The Academy Award winner previously made light of the clone claims in a tweet promoting the film. They didn't clone me, but they cloned Tyrone. See you July 21st, which is out right now on only on Netflix. He wrote on July 12th. As for specific details about his medical emergency, Jamie opted to keep those private. In closing, he simply wanted fans to know that he is back and grateful to be alive. View some of the fans quotes, fan clone tweets below. Oh boy. And yeah, I'm not even gonna really get into that right there. So let's get into. Hold on a second. All right, so um, our next topic. Um, yeah, let's get that out of there. Um, e-bike. Let's get that out. Um, wait, $50. Nah, no, no. Okay, all right, we good. So as the ongoing strikes continue with no end in sight, this is from Deadline. The Writers Guild and the AMPTP didn't come back to the bargaining table Monday. The two sides last met on Friday, after which the Guild told its members that talks would resume sometime this week. The strike is now in its 112th day, actually 115. WGA and SAG after are holding what's expected to be a massive rally outside Disney Studios tomorrow morning in Burbank. Their National Day of Solidarity rally gets underway at 10 a.m. After the strike began on May 2nd, the WGA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers didn't meet for over 3 months and didn't resume actual bargaining until August 11, 100, 102 days into the strike. The chief strike issues include pay raises, viewership based streaming residuals, the preservation of the writers' room through um, through minimum staffing and guaranteed days of employment, and guardrails against the use of artificial intelligence robots to write scripts. Okay, let's get into and of course the state ally AI laws. Yeah, there's some bills actually. So let's get into it right here. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to get my charger. All right. So the state of state AI laws 2023. So the 2023 legislative session has seen a surge in state AI laws proposed across the U.S., surpassing the number of AI laws proposed or passed in past legislative sessions. 10 states included AI regulations as part of larger consumer privacy laws that were passed or are going into effect in 2023. And even more states have proposed similar bills. Several states proposed task forces to investigate AI, and others expressed concern about AI's impact on services like healthcare, insurance, and employment. Below is a list of state laws going into effect, passed or proposed for the current legislative session. Okay, laws going into effect in 2023. Of the AI related laws going into effect in 2023, most of them are part of comprehensive consumer privacy laws. These laws regulate AI and automated decision making by allowing users to opt out of profiling and requiring assessments. One law in New York City stands out as it blazes a path for AI regulation in hiring, attracting national attention. So, California, Colorado, Connecticut, New York City, Virginia, Utah, included, and laws passed this legislation laws passed this legislative session. This legislative session, Montana, Indiana, Oregon, Tennessee, and Texas passed comprehensive consumer privacy laws that include provisions regulating AI, mirroring laws that California, Colorado, Connecticut, and Virginia have previously passed. Most notably, the law gives consumers the right to opt out of automated profiling and mandates data protection assessments if the automated decision making poses a heightened risk of harm. Iowa also passed a consumer privacy law, but it does not grant consumers the right to opt out of profiling. Other states have also passed more laws that specifically addresses AI, which are listed below, starting with Arizona, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Hawaii, Indiana, Maryland, Montana, North Dakota, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas. Laws proposed this legislation session. Um, AI regulation as part of comprehensive consumer privacy bills. Several states have proposed comprehensive consumer privacy bills following in the footsteps of Colorado, California, Connecticut, and other states. These bills include provisions regulating AI that mirror those in other states' privacy laws. Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Washington. Regulation to prevent general harms. Several states have proposed bills that guard against general harms of AI. All bills express concern for discrimination resulting from AI use. Some bills seem more concerned about harms within specific industries like hiring, healthcare, voting, and or assurance. California, District of Columbia, New Jersey, New York. Following in the footsteps of New York City, several states have proposed bills regulating AI use in employment settings around often around making hiring decisions. Illinois, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Vermont, expressing their skepticism that algorithms can make better decisions than medical professionals when it comes to healthcare. States have proposed bills that regulate the use of AI in physical and mental health services. So, California, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Texas, Legislators have expressed concerns about AI decision making in insurance context. New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island included, expressing the concern for bias in automated decision making used by state actors. States have proposed bills that would require government actors to follow responsible AI procurement and implementation practices. Several bills hold AI to a set of standards, but several others merely call for investigation of government AI use without implementing any regulations. California, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Washington. Um, in addition to the California AI Ware Act mentioned above, which regulates the government's use of generative AI, the below bills also attempt to mitigate generative AI harms. Many focus on harms caused by AI generated images or videos. Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island included, bills to increase transparency and understand around AI. Several states proposed bills that would track AI use or establish conditions to study AI's effects. Many asked the commissions to recommend how to best regulate AI. California, Illinois, Maryland, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Texas, um, other AI related bills, Illinois, um, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina included. So, if you'd like to read more on the dates that the bill of AI regulation, you can go to epic.org/the state of state AI laws 2023. All right, so let's get into. All right, let's get into. Um, okay. Um, okay, so 115 days of this rider strike that's been going on. Um, so a little bit of an update. Um, the Riders Guild said Wednesday that the AMPTP's latest counter offer for a new contract is neither nothing nor nearly enough. In a message to its members released today, the Guild said it will continue to advocate for proposals that fully address our issues rather than accept half measures like those offered by the companies in its latest offer August 11th. The Guild said that we remain committed to direct negotiations with the companies. The strike is now in its 115th day. Damn. 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 Damn, son. All right. Okay. So In today's message, the WGA concedes that the companies have come closer, but not close enough to meet several of the guild's demands on several key issues. On the hot button issue of artificial intelligence robots, the guild said, in quote, "We have had real discussions and seen movement on their part regarding AI protections, but we are not yet where we need to be." For their part, the companies have confirmed that because generative artificial intelligence robots is not a person, it is not a writer or a professional writer as defined in this minimum basic agreement, and therefore written material produced by JAI will not be considered literally material under this or any prior MBA. And yes, like I said before, artificial intelligence robots don't have a soul, and they're not authentic. So there you have it. The AMPTP says that this proposal provides important safeguards to prevent writers from being disadvantaged if any part of the script is based on JAI produced material, so that the writer's compensation, credit, and separated rights will not be affected by the use of GAI produced material. The WGA, however, says that the companies continue to refuse to regulate the use of our work to train AI to write new content for a motion picture. Minimum staffing and duration of employment for members working in TV writers' room is another strike issue. And here too, the companies have made concessions after initially saying um, that the guild's proposal amounts to a hiring quota that is incompatible with the creative nature of our industry. Um, in its latest proposal for high budget SVOD and paid television series or serials, for instance, the AMPTP has counter offered that the showrunner may select at least two writers to be employed for a period of at least 20 consecutive weeks in the writer's room, but not to exceed the duration of the writer's room. But this doesn't go far enough for the guild, which said today that the companies introduced the notion of an MBA guarantee of minimum staff size and duration, but the loopholes, limitations, and omissions in their modest proposal, too numerous to single out, make them effectively toothless. And with respect to transparency, the guild says that the companies say they have made a major concession by offering to allow 6 WGA staffers to study limited streaming viewership data for the next 3 years, so we can return in 2026. Damn. To ask once again for a viewership based residual. But in the meantime, no writer can be told by the WGA about how well their project is doing, much less receive a residual based on that data. The companies have also agreed to a guaranteed second step for theatrical screenplays, meaning that when a company initially employs a writer to write the first draft of an original screenplay, it will be required to provide the writer the first opportunity to perform a rewrite at no less than the applicable minimum compensation. The guild, however, says that this would only apply to statistically tiny category of screenwriters, excluding all but the first writers of original screenplays. Um, the guild has also demanded that writing teams be entitled to receive full pension and health contributions, and here too, the AMPTP has made a concession after initially rejecting the idea and refusing to make a counteroffer. Under the AMPTP's latest offer, teams of 2 writers would receive P and H contributions as individuals, but the guild says not no notes that this would not apply to teams of 3 or more riders. The guild also complained that many of the AMPTP's latest proposals including pay raises, are from a deal negotiated with the DGA more than 80 days ago. Of course, you can read the WGA's full message below. No new negotiations have been scheduled for now, as hopes for a breakthrough to end the ongoing writers' strike were dashed Tuesday night following a much anticipated meeting between the Guild, the AMPTP, and the CEO of Disney, Netflix, Universal Pictures, and Warner Brothers Discovery, which the Guild earlier had called a meeting to get us to cave. After the two sides met, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers unveiled what is called a comprehensive package of proposals that it gave to the Guild August 11th, claiming that it addresses all of the issues the Guild has identified as its highest priorities. According to the AMPTP, its latest proposal substantially improves upon the AMPTP's uh, um, prior proposals. The comprehensive package also features first of their kind offers for riders, including unprecedented terms in the areas of generative artificial intelligence, robots, data transparency, and minimum staffing. After releasing its proposals, AMPTP President Carol Lombardini said, in quote, "We have come to the table with an offer that meets the priority concerns the riders have expressed. We are deeply committed to ending the strike and are hopeful that the WGA will work toward the same resolution." That offer, however, remains unchanged after 4 days of bargaining last week. And on August 17th, the Guild upped the ante by releasing an antitrust report that called for more government regulation of what it calls the anti-competitive practices of Disney, Amazon, and Netflix, which accuses of abusing their dominance to further disadvantage competitors, raise prices for consumers, and push down wages for creative workforce. Following Tuesday's meeting with the CEOs, however, the Guild said that the company's plan from the beginning was not to bargain, but to jam us. It is their only strategy to bet that we would turn on each other. Today, the WGA's negotiating committee issued a more complete statement on the status of the negotiations. Here is that statement in full. As promised, here's a more detailed explanation of where we are in the negotiations. On Friday, August 11th, after 102 days on strike, the AMPTP gave us the counter offer they publicized Tuesday night, August 22nd. The Guild responded with our own counter proposal on August 15th. And there were discussions about a few issues on Wednesday and Thursday last week. On Friday, August 18th, late afternoon, Carol brought us in for a session that lasted under 10 minutes and consisted of the companies making 2 minor moves on TV issues. On Monday, the call came to meet with Carol and 4 of the CEOs on Tuesday night, August 22nd, with an indication the companies were finally ready to get serious about bargaining for a deal. As we reported, the basic message of that meeting was that the company's first and only counteroffer to the WGA since the start of the strike, made 11 days before, was and had to be the basis for the only deal they were willing to make. During the meeting with the CEOs, we spent 2 hours explaining that though progress had been made, the language of the AMPTP's offer was as is typical of that body, a version of giving with one hand and taking back with the other. We repeated what we have said since day one, that our demands come directly from the membership itself. They address the existential threats to the profession of writing and to our individual careers, all caused by changes to the business model implemented by the companies in the last 7 to 10 years. We stress that we could not and would not pick and choose among those threats, that we have not struck for nearly 4 months to have save ourselves, nor are we leaving any sector of this this guild unprotected when we return to work. We are willing to negotiate within these areas, but every existential issue must be met with a genuine solution. At the end of the meeting, the companies told us they intended to go directly to our membership by releasing information on their August 11th proposal to the media within the next 24 hours. They released a 6-page document 20 minutes after the meeting concluded. This should be seen as what it is, simply a tactic in the middle of an ongoing negotiation. We aren't going to negotiate by press release, so won't go through the AMPTP's characterization of its August 11th proposal in detail. But here are some broad strokes that may already be apparent. Many of the current deal points they have put forward, minimums, SVOD residuals, AVOD terms, are from a deal negotiated with the DGA more than 80 days ago. More power. The strike forced the companies to negotiate on more issues than they were willing to as of May 1st, but still in the typical AMPTP mode of seeming to give while limiting the actual gains. Here are a few examples of areas they've made proposals that they are not yet good enough. Oh boy. In screen, they have proposed a second step, but only for a statistically tiny category of screenwriters, excluding all but the first writers of original screenplays. One moment. Okay. In screen, they have proposed a second step, but only for a statistically tiny category for screenwriters, excluding all but the first writers of original screenplays. They dismissed the concept of weekly pay. They have selected but insufficient minimum terms for some, but not all, Appendix A riders in SVOD. For example, while comedy variety is covered, game show riders, daytime riders, and all other Appendix A riders are not covered. In television, the companies have introduced the notion of an MBA guarantee of minimum staff size and duration, but the loopholes, limitations, and omissions in their modest proposal, too numerous to single out, make them effectively toothless. Um, Teams of two riders would receive P&H contributions as individuals, but not teams of three or more. We have had real discussions and seen movement on their part regarding AI protections, but we are not yet where we need to be. As one example, they continue to refuse to regulate the use of our work to train AI to write new content for a motion picture. Finally, the companies say they have made a major concession by offering to allow six WGA staff to study limited streaming viewership data for the next 3 years. So we can return in 2026. Damn, that's a long time to ask once again for a viewership based residual. In the meantime, no writer can be told by the WGA about how well their project is doing, much less receive a residual based on that data. The company's counteroffer is neither nothing nor nearly enough. We will continue to advocate for proposals that fully address our issues rather than accept half measures like those mentioned above and other proposals not listed here. One last reminder illustrates why the AMPTP's current stance doesn't make sense. As we have repeated from the first day of our first member meeting and on every day of the strike, our demands are fair and reasonable, and the companies can afford them. Here is the cost to each company of our current ask on the table, including the addition of increased health funding to address the impact of the strike. Weigh this against the cost of not making a deal, the cost to 11,500 riders, to actors, crews, and drivers, to anyone who works in and around the business but is not on strike, to the economies of California and New York and everywhere film and television is made, to consumers, pension plans, and other shareholders, and to the companies themselves. It makes no sense, and everybody but the AMPTP knows it. In the last 36 hours, the response from the membership is that you are undeterred by this latest tactic, despite the AMPTP's attempt at a detour around us. We remain committed to direct negotiations with the companies. That's actually how a deal gets made and the strike ends. That will be good for the rest of the industry and the companies as well. Until then, we will see you on the picking lines. Sheesh. 2026 is a long time, man. That's four that's like 3 years, man. Um Dwayne The Rock Johnson gave a charitable donation to SAG Astra on July 13th. This is from Variety. As SAG Astra leadership declared the union was going on strike, SAG Astra Foundation President Courtney B. Vance and Executive Director Sid Wilson drafted a letter to 2,700 of the union's highest earning actors outlining the financial need that many would face in the work stoppage. Having been through this during COVID, and having such a great response from our own membership to take care of their own. When the strike was decided, Courtney and I sat down with our team and said, "Here we go again," Wilson tells Variety. During the COVID-19 slamdemic, the SAG-AFTRA Foundation um, worked to provide financial relief to many of the union's 160,000 members via the foundation's emergency financial assistance program, which will again be used to help actors during the strike. We rely on donations and grants to provide services. We have been very fortunate that we raised enough money to be able to cover all of our programs, Wilson explains. But when we hit a crisis like this, and we're going to spend millions and millions of dollars in financial assistance, this is when we need our high profile talent who can afford it, who are in a situation to help others. Shortly after sending the letter, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's team reached out to say he wanted to help, so he and Vince hopped on a phone call. It was love. It was a love fest. It's like, man, you're stepping up in a way that is allowing others to know the dire necessity of it. Vance told Johnson about his contribution to the fund, noting that the exact sum is being kept confidential, but he was heartened by the A-listers' generosity. This is him saying, "In such a time as this, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. Whatever, whatever you need me to do, hold on. Whatever you need me to do, hang on a second. Yeah, whatever you need. Hold on. Whatever you need me to do." And that sends a huge message to other folks to do the same thing. Wilson explains that the SAG-AFTRA Foundation's grants deliver up to $1,500 per individual member, but in extreme conditions where there are health issues or other situations that indicate an actor is in serious jeopardy, a Lifeline member can receive up to $6,000 in emergency financial assistance. Ooh, wow, wow. Um, um, hold on a second. Oh boy. Okay. Where was I? Where was I? Hold on a second. Where is I? Thus, Johnson's seven-figure donation has the potential to aid thousands of actors. Um, it is a call to arms for all of us to know that we just have to step up however you can, Vance adds. If your step if your step up is $10, step up, because that $10 is going to help somebody. If it's $10,000, if it's $10 million, step up, because we have to. Everyone knows what happens when you. Everyone knows what happens when you. Hold on a second. When you go on strike, when you stand for something, as the saying goes, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. You can't stand unless you have support underneath you, on the side, up top, and up front. So what? So Dwayne is letting everyone know I'm here. What are you gonna do? Um, in an interview with Variety, um, Vance and Wilson discussed the financial crisis facing working actors and the impact of Johnson's sizable donation in helping to support them. Um, all right. So, what have the last 10 days been like since SAG after members joined the picking lines in respect to the foundation's efforts? We've been doing this since 1985 for 40 years. This is what we do. Our mandate and our mission is to be able to help members in times of need and crisis financially for their medical bills, their rents, their mortgages, and their food. And that's where we find ourselves once again. They are on the picking lines, but they still have to be able to pay for things. The union is on the front lines with Fran Drescher doing what they need to do. How has the financial need during the strike compared to the requests that you saw over these last 3 years with COVID? It's very similar. Although SAG AFTRA didn't strike until 10 days ago, many of our actors' productions were shut down during the writer's strike. So they've already been affected since May, and we've seen an uptick in the number of requests that come in. We're processing probably 5 to 10 times that we would normally process in a week, and think that is going to continue to increase. Um, we're in this for the long haul, and we have to be concerned that even when the strike is over, that doesn't mean that people haven't still been left decimated. We have members that obviously need a roof over their head and food on their tables, but we also have members who are in financial crisis that doesn't have anything to do with the strike. Um, and it's compounded by the fact that we're just coming through COVID. So these folks were just feeling able to get their head above water, and now they don't know what's happening. Are we going to sink back? And how long is this going to go on? We're alluding to the mental and emotional state of people's situations, which dovetails us to Dwayne heeding the call that went out and seeing the devastation that happened during COVID and the potential devastation that is happening now. He stepped up in a major way, historic way to help us because he's one of us. We support our own. I hope this is not going to be a long period like the COVID situation was, but no matter how long it goes, even a week is too long for our membership. That what Dwayne did and others like him are doing is to let members know we got you. You are not going to sink. Um, the general public might not think that all actors make millions of dollars, and there are some that do, but it's a very small percentage. But those actors who then go on to win Oscars and have huge success could not make those films and those television projects without hundreds of actors who are behind in the background sitting in the restaurant that have those bit parts that paint the picture, so that the stories can be told. Our stars understand that they cannot make a film without these people. Having said that, as you are saying, these people are making not enough money to even afford their health care. So the majority of our actors are also have second and third jobs. They are waiting tables, catering, driving Uber. It may not seem like a lot, but when you miss $1,000 to $3,000 a month, that would that you would normally from a work stoppage, that can be a financial ruin. Oh boy. It's the largest single donation that we've ever received from one individual at one time. And what is amazing is that one check is going to help thousands of actors keep food on the table and keep their kids safe and keep their cars running. And it's not lost on me that he's very humble about this, but it is a way to get us started. This is how we did dur- this is how we did this during COVID. Some of the biggest stars in our industry stepped up. For him to step up like this is really going to get us started in the fundraising that we're going to need to do, because everything we're hearing and seeing, we feel we have to be prepared that this could go on through the end of the year. We're going to have to be able to help these people in the long run. We have 160,000 SAG after performers, and that's a lot of people that are going to need our help. This donation is the kickstart we needed in the first week of what we think will be a long haul. When people are in crisis, people step up. It's that field of dreams statement. Build it and they will come. You have to set it up for people to recognize what the situation is, and that's, I think, why people are giving in the amounts and in the ways that they are given, because people recognize that could be me that can't pay my medical bills, or that's my children that have school bills coming up and I'm not working. 95% of the folks in our industry don't work regularly. We recognize that. All that we're doing is about folks who are on those picket lines and letting the powers that be know that we're here. We're not going anywhere. We deserve better and won't settle for less. So I'm grateful to our membership. I'm grateful to our leaders in our organization. I'm grateful to leaders in the union, Fran Drescher, and the negotiating committee. We'll get there. It's gonna take a minute, but we're gonna get there. I want to thank Dwayne for his tremendous generosity, compassion, and initiative to step up in this significant and meaningful way for our community. On behalf of the thousands who will be helped by his historic donation, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, for information on SAG Astra Foundation's Emergency Financial Assistance Program and how to apply, you can visit sagaftra.foundation/emergency assistance. And to support the fund, go to sagafter.foundation/donate. All right. Let's give it up for Dwayne the Rock Johnson for a tremendous donation. Okay, let's see what else we got here. What else we got here? UPS. Of course, the UPS averted the strike. The delivery giant UPS has reached an agreement, according to NPR, with the Teamsters union to install air conditioning systems in its iconic brown delivery trucks. The tentative deal comes as the two parties continue to negotiate the terms of a new contract for more than 34 3,400,000 unionized employers, and after reports of UPS workers facing extreme heat in their vehicles while on the job. We have reached an agreement on heat safety with the Teamsters, which includes new measures that build on important action rolled out to UPS employees in the spring, including new cooling gear and enhanced training, the company said in a statement. Okay, so in the statement. Okay, so um air conditioning systems will be included in all of the company's small package delivery vehicles purchased after January 1st, 2024. It will be the first time UPS will be required to equip the company's recognizable package car vehicles, which make up about 95% of its delivery fleet, with air conditioning, the union said. UPS said it would send the new vehicles to the hottest parts of the U.S. first when possible. Under the agreement, UPS will ensure all current package cars have a cab fan within 30 days of the new contract being ratified. The company will also install heat shields, which reduce truck floors, truck floor temperatures, and induction systems to increase airflow in the cargo areas. Air conditioning is coming to UPS, and Teamster members in these vehicles will get the relief and protection they've been fighting for. Teamsters General President Sean M. O'Brien said in a statement, the union's entire national committee and our rank and fillers should be commended for staying in this fight and making their priorities known to this company. Delivery drivers will increasingly face the ill effects of climate change, which, among other things, is making heat waves both hotter and longer lasting. UPS, which delivered an average of 24 million packages per day last year, has faced criticism from labor leaders, workers, and their families for not doing enough to protect drivers from extreme heat on their routes. Some drivers have even taken to sharing the scorching heat readings in their trucks. Whew, damn, damn, son. Yeah, delivery drivers will increasingly face the ill effects of climate. Yeah, I reread that part. UPS, which delivered an average of 24 million packages per day last year, has faced criticism from labor leaders, um, workers, and their families for not doing enough to protect drivers from extreme heat on their routes. Some drivers have even taken to sharing the scorching heat readings in their trucks. More than 100 UPS workers were treated for heat related illnesses in the span of 4 years, according to NBC News. And a 24-year-old UPS driver in California died last summer from what his family suspected was dehydration or heat stroke. These days, nearly every American car is equipped with air conditioning, uh, according to the automobile group AAA. Tuesday's agreement comes as the Teamsters weigh a strike vote that could allow the union to call a temporary work stoppage if it is unable to reach a contract deal with UPS. The current contract, which already expired already, I'm glad the UPS did not averted the strike, so that's pretty good. So there it is. Let's see. Let's see what else we got to talk about here. Let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Um, let's see. Okay, after Chambers. Okay, After Chambers. Okay, After Chambers, according to Vibe, After Chambers opens every episode of his podcast, Culture Raises Us, by asking his guests what culture means to them. In our conversation, he was intentional about specifying that he did not mean the culture, which has been colloquially attached to several things the Black community loves and holds dear. Chambers has held several roles throughout his career that could be easily aligned with the culture, namely at Nike, Adidas, Billionaire Boys Club, and even Vibe. These companies and their employees have been impactful to the culture at large, but he wants to go a bit deeper. How do they establish their own cultures? What do people what do the people who enter and eventually leave gain from the cultural makeup of these entities? Through conversations with the likes of Kenny Burns, DJ Clark Kent, Joe Fresh Goods, Swim Cash, and more, the multi hyphenated is able to gain a better understanding of how other people view culture. Culture is probably one of the most impactful things in our society, in our lives, he said. It's literally the heartbeat and the pulse of everything. Jeez. Let's see. Yes. So, um, it's literally the heartbeat and the pulse of everything. Everything has a culture. Um, Everything has a culture. Everything has a culture. Culture is why he took time to speak with Vibe on a trip to New York about the road to debuting his show, the biggest lessons he's learned in podcasting, and what sparks his interest in culture overall. And you started Culture Raises Us podcast this year and just hit month 5. How's that experience been for you? He says magical, just watching the growth of the content, the community, and more importantly, the impact. It's funny when you work on things like this, and in all the industries I've worked in, you are always working on things far ahead of time. You think that everybody has a line of sight to everything that you've done already, when really they haven't. Once we rolled out the first couple episodes and I started to see the reactions from people, I went, "Oh, you haven't been seeing this all this time." This was only myself and the team. So to get that immediate gratification and that validation of, yo, this was so inspiring. I felt so good after listening. It was so informational. All these different things. You're like, oh, and it's doing the thing that we felt exactly when we were creating it in terms of the why. So just it's just been great. And looking back on everything you've done, do you feel like this show and concept was always brewing within you? My two business partners were the ones that were on my neck like this is what you need to be doing. You have to do this. You have the stories. You have the credibility. You have the charisma. You have the relationships. You have all the things where a podcast would not just succeed. It's going to flourish, and it's needed. The way in which you can position all this is so needed. From a standpoint of, we're not going to glamorize celebrities like great project that you did and we've watched your journey. It's like, no, let's talk to these celebrities about their journey of how they got here and the things that they want to do and they want to see in the market and in our world. So I think it's definitely a combination of things within a skill set that I've definitely had from day one, just applying it now to a platform that's very relevant for today. Damn, son. So, whew, okay. I want to go back to your childhood. How was your charisma developed? I was motivated by the good old Cosby show. I just knew I was going to be on the Cosby show one day. That did not happen. So I guess these are my Cosby show moments. If I take it back to a step further, both of my parents are Jamaican and came over here together in the early 70s. So I'm a first generation American. They instilled in me a level of confidence and self worth because they came over here thinking, oh, we're going to come over here and have the best life ever and do the things that we've always dreamt or aspired to do, because this is the land of opportunities. They weren't raised here with the segregation burden, implications of slavery and all that weight. They were brought here with the optimism of what's possible. That was instilled in me very early. In being confident about being yourself, there's an ability to interact with people on a level where you are not fearful. You are not concerned about how people don't perceive you. You are just being your natural self. So early in my years, I get the why you do you talk like a white person. Oh, I hated that. Oh man. But all it was a cry from individuals saying that we were very articulate. And the perception was that only white people could be that. Now you don't even hear that nowadays. Nobody even mentions anything like that. I think that's where it came from. It definitely started with those early seeds of my parents and obviously wanting to be on the Cosby Show at a very early age. Damn, son, it's a lot, man. Um, okay. What's the thing you've learned about podcasting that maybe you didn't know going into it? Firstly, I learned quickly was there was a reason why God made now the right time. You look at podcasts from the outside, you are like, oh, anybody could do that. You have no idea the levels of work that goes into this from a production side, content development side, booking a talent. Then when you have the talent, you are the questions you want to drive. How do you want to drive them? What are the things you want to stay away from? All right, how are we going to chop up this content? Where are the clips that we're going to use? There are multitudes of things that I never would have been able to do on my own ever. So while I've been told for years you need to be doing podcasts, there was a reason why God did not put me in that lane, because there was no way I was going to be able to do it on my own. And that's not a knock against me at all. That's just the reality. There are things in life that you are not supposed to do alone. That's why I know this is going to be super impactful, because everything was aligned in terms of the partners, the abilities that they brought to the table to complement what it was that I was doing, but also supplement all the things that I was super deficient in. You started your episode with DJ Clark Kent by asking him what is culture. It's such a simple question, but it's something that we rarely try to define. When did you first start thinking about the culture in depth? The nuance that you are talking about, you and I can both probably feel and attest to this. So I don't do the culture, I do culture. Because the culture, as you are insinuating, especially within our culture, community is a thing. And even that has different nuances to it. So that's an element within it. But I'm talking about culture, all encompassing. Why? Because it's probably one of the most impactful things in our society, in our lives. It's literally the heartfelt and the pulse of everything. Everything has a culture. And I started to realize that throughout my professional career, having the benefit of working for a very prominent culturally relevant brands like Nike, to Vibe, to Billionaire, Boys Club, back to Nike, Adidas, Apple. Every one of these places has very distinct cultures within their walls and cultures they create and speak to within the marketplace. I started to have a fond appreciation for being in these different corporations and these different boardrooms and having these different views and initiatives that were pertaining to consumers that look at me. Um, and then I realized, hold up, we created a culture that actually made this brand what it is today. I was part of creating a culture. I'm now working in these very powerful cultures, and I'm seeing the beauty and the curses of them inside these buildings. And that then had that light bulb go off in my head to say, I need to create a platform where we talk about this. If I can shine a light or create a platform to highlight this, this can be a tool that we can help use to punch through all the darkness that's in our current society, because we're definitely in a super dark time. Well, very impressive, very impressive of of very impressive of Aster Chambers. Yeah, you can check out his podcast on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. All right. All right. So, let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's get to the nine predictions on how to beat Barbie the movie. Okay, nine predictions. Let's get to nine predictions. Um, all right. What is nine predictions? Oh boy. Oh boy. Um, okay. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna get into a segment um, for movie man cave popcorn. Let's go. Okay, 9 predictions on how to beat Barbie and Oppenheimer. Hmm. And this is from screenrant.com. Okay, let's get into it right here. August 2023's box office will still feed the effects of Barbie and Oppenheimer's release, but there are several new movies set for release with hopes of achieving their own financial success. August has never been one of the biggest months of the year for movie theaters, as it marks the end of the summer season. Studios traditionally use the month to let the bigger movies from the summer to continue dominating. It has also become a time of the year when studios are willing to put slightly riskier projects in theaters with the hopes of catching the attention of audiences occasionally and finding success with lacking competition. Okay. The outlook of the August 2023 box office is another example of these strategies at play. A new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot, which is Mutant Mayhem, the sequel to the Meg, and a potential DC franchise starter in Blue Beetle are among the biggest new releases coming to theaters this month. Each of these movies have IP burdens to deliver major box office results to keep their respective franchises going, while several other new movies will attempt to truly stand on their own against remaining July 2023 box office hits. While not every new movie will be a hit, here are some key predictions for the August 2023 box office. Number 9, obviously, Barbie um, will, pa- will pass $1.3 billion worldwide and become 2023's highest grossing movie. Before tackling the new releases, all eyes will remain on Barbie's box office to see how high it climbs. After making over $750 million during its first 10 days of release, the movie, based on Mattel's iconic toy, is an undeniable success. Its current trends put it in elite company with the highest grossing movies of all time. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling's movie will need time to reach those heights, but it could become 2023's highest grossing movie during August. It needs to double its current total to pass the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is $1.35 billion to claim that title, which is doable over the next 4 weeks. Number 8, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem box office predictions. The first major August 2023 box office release is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. The animated reboot boosts a youthful and star-studded voice cast as well as great animation, which have led to outstanding reviews. 2023 has 2023 has been a stellar year for animated movies based on major IPs at the box office. as demonstrated by the Super Mario Brothers movie and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. There is also a decent history of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies performing well at the box office, which could work in the new movie's favor. Long-range projections for TMNT Mutant Mayhem's box office call for a 5-day opening weekend of nearly $50 million, according to Box Office Pro, with around $27 million to $36 million coming during the traditional 3-day weekend. Since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem's reviews are so positive and the characters are so popular, the movie earning around $140 million domestically and $350 million worldwide overall seems doable. That would put the movie slightly behind the first live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from Michael Bay, but a step forward after its sequel stumbled. Number 7, The Trench. Warner Brothers is hoping to have the August 2023 box office surprise with the Meg 2, The Trench. The original movie starring Jason Statham was an unexpected success in 2018 as it made $45 million in its opening weekend domestically and finished with $530 million worldwide. This is why Warner Bros. Decided to move forward with a sequel and reportedly increase the budget to roughly $150 million. Meg 2 is looking to repeat the unexpected success and keep the franchise alive and finish a trilogy. There are currently not expectations that Meg 2 will attract audiences quite as well, even as the number of megalodons featured increases. Box Office Pro has a projection of $22 million to $27 million for the opening weekend. While there is a gap in the schedule for over-the-top action movies, Meg 2's box office is likely to finish with less than $100 million domestically, and international audiences could help push the worldwide total to $300 million if everything goes right. One moment. Number 6, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is not expected to take too big of a bite out of the domestic box office. Universal's new horror movie has a recognizable tale behind it, in theory, thanks to its connection to Dracula. But there's not much of a sign that audiences are aware the movie is coming out. The Last Voyage of the Demeter's box office projections is a mere $5 million to $10 million for its opening weekend domestically. That puts a rather dark cloud over the movie's financial hopes, making a $20 million domestic total even a challenge to hit potentially. Number 5, Blue Beetle. Warner Brothers and DC Studios are in a curious position when it comes to Blue Beetle's box office prospects. On one hand, the movie, originally announced as an HBO Max original, was given a bigger budget after the fact to become bigger and support a theatrical release. By the way, I found out that the budget for Blue Beetle is like $120 million actually. Well, that's not really a lot though, but you know, anyway, the arrival of Zolo Mariduana's Jaime Reyes is a big step in representation, and DC Studios Chief James Gunn has confirmed Blue Beetle will live on as part of the new DC Universe continuity. However, Blue Beetle is unlikely to be canon to the new universe, and the DC brand is still reeling from the Flash's box office bomb. While Blue Beetle might live on, the odds of Blue Beetle being a box office hit and launching a major franchise are quite low. According to Box Office Pro, the movie might open to less than $20 million domestically. That would be a rather disastrous part for a superhero movie nowadays, especially one that reportedly carries an $120 million budget. Barring incredible word of mouth and gaining significant traction with general audiences, a very optimistic prediction for Blue Beetle's box office might only be $75 million domestically and $200 worldwide. Strays, Universal is hoping to have an R-rated hit on its hands with the raunchy animal comedy Strays. The movie features a great collection of actors lending their voices to play dogs, including Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, Will Forte, um, Isla Fisher, and Randall Park. Its red band trailers have leaned heavily into the mischievous and adult adventures that the pets will partake in, and the comedic opportunities that will come from them. There is an optimistic outlook for Strays at the box office. Projections have landed around $18 million to $28 million for the comedy's opening weekend domestically. Um, while that is far from a huge opening, it could be enough to give the movie a good enough start that it could become profitable with a low enough budget. Since it is a voice only role for even the biggest stars, Stray's box office surpassing $60 million domestically and $150 million worldwide could still be enough for it to be a hit. Okay. Um, Number three, Gran Turismo. Um, Sony is hoping that its video game movie success continues with Gran Turismo's release in August 2023. The movie is based on the popular PlayStation video game racing series and the true story of Jan Mardenborough going from gamer to professional racer. It features recognizable faces in prominent roles thanks to David Harbour and Orlando Bloom, while director Neil Blomkamp has seemingly crafted a thrilling racing movie based on early reactions. While Gran Turismo's plan has changed to the SAG-AFTRA strike, its box office potential still remains. The best case scenario from Gran Turismo's box office is that it can get to $200 million worldwide and become profitable. This will require the movie to open above early projections and use what will hopefully be good word of mouth from early fan screenings leading up to August 25th, which is tomorrow, to drive up interest. If good reviews follow, Gran Turismo's box office could open to around $25 million domestically and help the movie reach $70 million domestically. International audience could help make up the difference and get um, the movie close to being a hit. Number two, Barbie and Oppenheimer. While there are several new movies hoping to make a mark on the August 2023 box office, it seems that none of them will be able to truly overtake Barbie and Oppenheimer's box office. The two movies have remained at the center of pop culture discussions over a week after their releases. While Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Blue Beetle, and Gran Turismo have some IP connected to them, they do not appear to have the same recognizability as Barbie and Oppenheimer. That is why when the August 2023 box office concludes, the Barbenheimer duo is likely to be the two highest grossing movies of the month. And number one, based on the based on the based on the above August 2023 box office predictions, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem will be the biggest new release this month. The animated movie might not have the strength to overtake Barbie and out earn it this month, but it is the best chance for a new release to make more than $100 million domestically. The great reviews that the family friendly action movie has received should help encourage families to see it all month long before and after school starts. That will help propel the TMNT reboot to be the August 2023 box office champion among the biggest new releases. Okay. All right, let's go to the box office. And this is from Entertainment Weekly. At the 4 weeks perched at the top of the box office, Barbie is stepping down its reign, coming to an anticlimactic and as DC's Blue Beetle knocked the socks of Barbie out of the number one spot, had hit number one this weekend, raking in $25.4 million per ComScore. Internationally, the Caper earned an additional $18 million for a global total of $43.4 million. Featuring one of DC's lesser known superheroes, the film, directed by Angel Manuel Soto, stars Zolo Mariduana, playing the title role as well as his alter ego, Jaime Reyes. In the movie, recent college grad Jaime returns home full of aspirations for his future, um, only to find that home is not quite as he felt it. As he searches for his purpose in the world, fate intervenes when Hami unexpectedly discovers an ancient relic of alien biotechnology, the Scarab. The Scarab. With this movie, really want what with this movie really what we wanted to highlight was Hami's story and the Reyes family story. Mari Duwana recently told EW. But my heart is already so fulfilled with this movie. If we do 20 of these movies and 40 cameos, or if it's just one, if it's just this one, what's what's most exciting to me is the opportunity for people to see it and have little kids everywhere saying, "Oh my gosh, this guy looks like me. I can be a hero too." Hold on. And shouts to Terry. Um, Lavish underscore apparel. Shouts to him. Hope you're enjoying your summer and everything else in between. All right, so let's get to in the fifth blockbuster week of its release. Barbie wasn't that far behind Blue Beetle, raking up $21.5 million for a domestic gross of 567.3 million dollars, $1.3 billion globally. Oppenheimer took third place with $10.6 million, bringing its domestic total to $285.2 million, $717.8 million globally. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem secured the fourth spot this weekend, with those heroes in half shell powering their way to $8.4 million in the movie's third week of release. So far, the TMNT reboot has earned $88.1 million domestically and $118.4 million globally. Um, Meanwhile, Strays, aka the R-rated Homeward Bound for the TikTok generation, opened to $8.3 million. The raunchy comedy, produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, has an all-star voice cast that includes Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, Isla Fisher, and Randall Park. It's a movie that's very smart about being silly, Lord told EW. It's written by Dan Perrault, who we've always admired from the show American Vandal. The movie really goes there and it takes a big swing, but it's also very big hearted and warm. You got the sense that the movie's friendly, even though it's very naughty. And there you have it right there. There you have it right there. Um, Now we go to TV show checkouts, man. Now we go to TV show checkouts right here. Sorry. Right. So TV show checkouts, man. Let's get into it. All right. Okay. TV show checkouts. Let's check out the. Oh boy. Hold on a second. Okay. Some TV show checkouts. Okay. Um. TV show checkouts. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second here. Yeah. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Yes, so there's two TV shows to check out actually. Okay, so let me see. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, starting with Twisted Metal. In two, hold on a second. In the 2 weeks since the video game adaptation launched, it has become the streaming's most binge comedy premiere to date, according to NBC Universal. The average account watched about 3 episodes per sitting, with some opting to knock out all 10 in a single viewing window. The company didn't report exactly how many people have watched Twisted Metal, but it is apparently joining the ranks of Bel Air, The Best Man Final Chapters, Poker Face, and Based on a True Story as one of Peacock's top 5 original series launched to date. Nielsen data shows that Twisted Metal drew 400 million viewing minutes in the weekend following its July 27th premiere, making it one of the week's most watched streaming originals. Twisted Metal is described as a high octane action comedy based on an original take by Deadpool scribes Rhett Reese and Paul Warnick about a motor mouth outsider played by Anthony Mackie, who is offered a chance at a better life, but only if he can successfully deliver a mysterious package across a post apocalyptic wasteland. With the help of a trigger happy car thief, he'll face savage marauders, driving vehicles of destruction, and other dangers of the open road, including a deranged clown who drives an all too familiar ice cream truck. In addition to Mackie, the series stars Stephanie Beatrice, Thomas Hayden Church, and Will Arnett and Josie Noah. Nerve Campbell, Richard Cabral, Mike Mitchell, Taj Taj Vaughns, Lou Beatty Jr. guest star. Michael Jonathan Smith wrote the series and served as showrunner. He also executive produced alongside Reese and Warnick. Additional executive producers are Will Arnett and Mark Foreman, Electric Avenue, Jason Inspired Entertainment, Peter Precipitato. Hold on. Principato, artist first. Um, Assad Kizilbash and Cater Swan from PlayStation Productions and Herman Holst, head of PlayStation Studios. Twisted Metal hails from Sony Pictures Television, PlayStation Productions, and Universal Television, a division of Universal Studio Group. You can catch Twisted Metal on Peacock with the episodes. And by the way, it may have gotten a season two. So that's pretty much a hit. That's a hit right there. And one more TV thing to get to right here, man. Um, one more TV thing to get to. One more TV thing. Um, oh boy. Hang on one second. One more TV thing to get to. Um, one more TV thing to get to. Yes, so Hip Hop Treasures. Here we go. Okay, ever wonder how Public Enemy's Flavor Flav started wearing those clocks around his neck, or whatever happened to the original one? And he has a docu series for you. Hip Hop Treasures follows rap icons and longtime TV stars LL Cool J and Ice T as they hunt for hip hop's most sought after memorabilia. From those clocks to the notorious B.I.G.'s jersey from the Juicy video, DMX, DMX's Aaliyah Carr, and more. Expect to hear from some such big names as DMC, CeeLo Green, Fat Joe, Master P, Soldier Boy, Naughty by Nature's, Tretch, and many more. With the 50 with the hip hop marking its 50th anniversary this year, the series premieres it already premiered at 10. It came out August 12th on A&E. Watch the Watch the promo above. LL Cool J and Ice T team with Field Collectors, Cypher Sounds, and Yo Yo, along with Paradise Gray and Pete Nice of the Universal Hip Hop Museum, which is building the world's largest collection of hip hop memorabilia collection and is slated to open next year. Hip Hop Treasures is produced by Pulse Films and Rock the Bells with Gray Nice, Erica Hansen, Tracy Baker Simmons, Adriana Hale, Mira King, Elaine Fontaine Bryant, Shelley Tatro and Jonathan Partridge serving as executive producers. Yes, you can catch Hip Hop Treasures on A&E. That's out right now. So for those of you out there, check your local listings. You should have A&E on there as well. So there you have it right there. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get into one more. We're gonna get two more segments right here. Two more segments. Hold on a second. Yes. So, all right. Two more segments right here. Um, Two more segments right here. We need to get to. Hold on a minute here. Let me get to some places. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on a second here. Okay. Hold on a second. Oh wait. Okay, so there's a couple of places that I need to mention. Um, a couple of places I need to mention, starting with this one right here. Let's get to remains to be seen. Let's get to remains to be seen, man. Um, all right, let's get to remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen, kid. Get it? Remains to be seen.
All right, all right, a couple of places to get to right here, and this is one in particular is going to be some road closures alert. So this is regarding the Jamaica Jams Festival. All streets shown in red in the race route above will be closed to traffic from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. for the Jamaica 5K race walk on Saturday morning, August 26, 2023. For further details, you can visit gjdc.org. The race will be followed by the Jamaica Ready Outdoor Festival at York College Performing Arts Center parking lot, which is located at 94-45 Guy Brewer Boulevard, Jamaica, New York 11451. And the start time starts at 11. All right, so there you have it right there. And another place that I want to mention before I get to 6 things to do for the weekend Let's see. Let me make sure that I don't miss anything. One moment here. One moment. Yes, so also what's happening on Saturday, August 26th is the Global Music um event, which is the Under, which is hip hop and urban music showcase. Um you can get your tickets at eventbrite.com, or you could download the Eventbrite phone app to get your tickets. So performances is included MC Lucho J. Urin, no Urin, J. Urin, Soca MC Reckless Mentes, Leon Court, All Day, Vitucho, Lux Beats, Bazooka John, Jay Jetson, not to be confused with George Jetson from the cartoon, folks. Suarez, Real Mr. Dak, Pisa, J Bank, Musico 718, Los Ninis, Buenos, Just Kevin, Spear 104, Mac 5 Hine, Perk Gang, and Emmy LA. And it's located in 309 008 63rd Street, Woodside, Queens, New York, 11377. Yes, Woodside, Queens. All right. Um, Let me see if there's any. Yes, admission doors open at 9 p.m. Show starts at 10 p.m. General admission is $20. All right, so let me get to $20 right there, man. Okay, so that's pretty much what that is right there. All right, what the hell's going on here, man? Hold on a second. Okay, all right. All right, so we got 6 things to do for the weekend. Let's get into it right here. Actually, let's get to Los Angeles first. Um, let's get to Los Angeles first. So, Brew at the LA Zoo starts August 25th, which is tomorrow. Um, and the after hours starts from 7 to 11 p.m. And of course, Blackpink. Um, they're on a, so this is the K-pop girl group will bring its massive born. Um, okay, massive born. Hold on a second. Okay, massive born. Hold on a second. Yes, massive born Pink tour to LA to on August 26th. Yeah, August 26th with a stop at Chavez Ravine. Sorry about that. And in Prosperity Markets Black Business Scavenger Hunt pop up market, and is on August 27th. August 27th. There is Off the 405, August 26th, $15, though it's $10 if you wait until the show starts. Um, and also there is Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa, August 27th. They are doing a what is it? So this is going to be a high school reunion tour that's happening at the 5 Point Amp5 Theater. And all the good stuff. So National Cinema Day takes place August 27th. What's the only thing stopping us from seeing Barbenheimer over and over again? Ticket prices. But thankfully, on August 27th, National Cinema Day will return with $4 movie tickets at theaters, large and small, for both new releases and some old favorites that are returning to the big screen just for the weekend. Okay, if you're in the LA area, you can check out timeout.com for more of events that's happening in your local area of Los Angeles and other areas in California. And also 6 things to do for the weekend in NYC. Starting August 25th, which is tomorrow or Friday, We Speak NYC English Conversation Group, intermediate level adult learners 16 and older, not in high school, will have the opportunity to learn English by watching We Speak NYC videos and discussing them with other adults from around the world. Come to the library and meet other people who are practicing English just like you. Grand Concourse Library, located at 155 East 173rd Street in the Bronx, 11 a.m., and it's free. Lo-Fi Fridays, teens ready to unwind after a long week. Come by the Teen Center to hold on a second. Come by the Teen Center to kick back with some chill music and enjoy some snacks. Read a book, chat with your friends, play a board game, or just hang out in a relaxed space. High Bridge Library, located at 78 West 168th Street in the Bronx, 3 p.m. That's another free event. Another free 99 event, Saturday, August 26th, Skates in the Park. Come join in the fun every Saturday for a fun-filled day of roller skating in the park. This event is for beginners, intermediate, and advanced skaters. All are welcome to join. Behind PS 38, 241st Street, near 136th Avenue, Queens, New York. Starts at 3 p.m. and it's free. Bronx Night Market, the Bronx Renowned Cuisine and Culture Festival, is back for its 6th season, bringing with an array of flavors and cultural experiences that represent the city's diverse heritage. As a beloved event, it's a must-attend festival for any food lover in the Bronx, and it's located at 1 Fordham Plaza in the Bronx. Starts from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. and it's free. And of course, Sunday, August 27th, Bronx Park East Farmers Market. The Farmers Market at Bronx Park is a vibrant and bustling place filled with fresh and delicious produce. There are a variety of vendors selling fruits, vegetables, herbs, flowers, and other goods. The atmosphere is friendly and welcoming, and the prices are very reasonable. Located at 222 Bronx Park, East Bronx, New York. Starts at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's a free entry. Um, and last but not least, Open Village. Um, Step back in time and experience the Open Village at historic Richmond Town. The open air museum is alive with living history demonstrated by costumed historical interpreters and structures throughout the campus. Historic Richmond Town, located at 441 Clark Avenue in Staten Island, New York, starts at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it's also free. So there you have it right there. All right. I think I'm gonna wrap up here actually. All right, so we're gonna wrap up here, right now. Um okay, so the next segment right here will be the last one, which is stream choices on the go. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know the routine. Be sure to follow Be sure to follow Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue on Facebook and Facebook Threads and Instagram, alongside with my other two podcast shows that's also on the gram as well, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show, and alongside with my review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, and also myself, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. That's on there as well. And of course, be sure to turn on your notifications so you could be reminded when each episode is going to be dropping. And also do the same for threads. I will be posting on when each episode is going to be dropping. So I got y'all with that one right there. And also, if you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see a list of streaming platforms where you can listen to episodes. And I want you to download these apps onto your iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets, and laptops. Includes Apple and Dell models with Windows. All right, starting with Audacity, Audible, Audio Burst, Amazon Music, Breaker, Bullhorn FM, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbay, Podfriend, Podhound, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podvine, Spotify for podcasters, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcast. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio or any of the apps that I just mentioned. All right, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to every streaming platform to follow um, the podcast shows that I am doing, and of course iHeartRadio included, which includes Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, Sports Edition show, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, review show, and of course, be sure to follow Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast on iHeartRadio as well, and also YouTube. make sure you go ahead and grab that subscribe button on the YouTube channel pages of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast, the sports YouTube channel page, and the primary handle G Money Stacks 555, where you see all the live videos already recorded and posted to the YouTube channel page. Make sure you go to the live section where you can see the full episodes on there, and of course, click on the Noni bell alongside with alerts so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. Be sure to stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, and previous episodes. Um, be sure to listen, stream, watch these episodes, download the episodes, share the videos, share the episodes, and of course, be sure to tell a friend to another friend, and be sure to spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, share the link that says Linktree/G Money Stacks 555 on there. And also, you can make a charitable donation to either my PayPal or my Cash App for whatever amount of tip, whatever amount you want to tip, will be appreciated. All right, so be sure to share the link that says Linktree/G Money Stacks 555 with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, the people you're cool with from work, and everywhere else you meet new people, and all that great stuff right there. And that's gonna do it for me, man. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Greginator. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in and rocking with me on episode 285, titled "The Jamaica Bus Terminal in Queens, New York." And if you go to any of the, and if you are in the New York area and you want to voice your thoughts on the relocation of the bus operators parking their buses by a police precinct. I know everybody is upset about this. I know I am, and this just doesn't sound safe. Please tell the board and the members of the MTA committee meetings, board meetings, and whatever case scenario may be. Please tell them not to relocate the bus operators to a police precinct. All right. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. You don't need people to validate you, but you have to validate yourself. And of course, and of course, and of course, remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. Um, if you want something, you have to earn it. You have to work hard and earn it. And of course, find something that you enjoy, that makes you smile, creatively, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Be on your P's and Q's. Follow your goals and dreams that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. All right, that's it. Remember to go to your MTA committee board meetings, voice your opinions on the relocation of the Jamaica bus terminal to the police precinct by 168th Street, and all that other stuff, whatsoever. So, yeah, there you have it right there. Peace and one love. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your night and your weekend. And be careful out there if you're going out to those places that I just mentioned, to do for the weekend. Make sure you take your friends with you. Make sure you find out what their well-being is like, and make sure they are okay. So that's it. Peace and one love. Good night, everybody.